Well, welcome back. This summer, a group of local women came together to take on the great outdoors and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm joined by Melanie Collins, a member of the Fab Five, part of H-2-O. Melanie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so first let's start, before we dive into this trip and this adventure, let me say, that you all embarked on. Tell me, H-2-O, what is that, and how did it come about?
Well, this was really the brainchild, or even more so, the heart child of Shawana Kendrick. In 2019, I think she just had a desire to have a safe space for, Black women, women of color, to be able to go somewhere to deal with mental, physical problems, issues, or just even a way to open up and find out what they desire in those spaces. And so she stepped out of, the box of what the traditional mold is, especially locally, and started the H-2-O life. Yeah.
And so when we think H-2-O, you think water first. But one of the things this focuses on is the outdoors as well. And something a lot of people say that you're seeing more women of color starting to do things like out on the trails and hikes and, different things like this. Whereas before you didn't as much.
Yes.
How has being outdoors helped and changed you? One of the things, again, is focusing on the mental health. So how has this helped you, being outdoors and doing some of these activities?
I didn't know it was a thing that I needed. Initially coming up, it was something that I didn't have access to. I think a lot of Black people, especially in Chattanooga, normally, I think a lot of people are introduced to it with their families and different things, but culturally, locally, I don't think that happened as much. And so I think intuitively, when you go out into a place and you can breathe and you don't know exactly why, but you feel better, and you go for a walk and then you want to, it may be in your neighborhood, it may be around town, then I started going the bridge. When they started to build, I'll give away my age, but the Riverwalk, started walking along the Riverwalk. And we are great, I'm grateful that we have Outdoor Chattanooga locally. It kind of filled in some of the gaps that I didn't have growing up. And so they provided on-ramping for outdoor activities. I started doing a little bit more of that, just trying out hiking. And then you just listen to yourself mentally and say, well, these are things that are making me feel better. Let me try some other things, even if it's things that traditionally, as a Black person, we may think we don't do that. But it's okay to try those things. And when you do, when you're introduced to those things, I've introduced friends and family to some of those activities, and they find out that they love them.
Stepping outside the box, trying something different. Yeah. And sometimes that's what we have to do. Like you said, step outside our comfort zone.
Yeah. And
the thing about again, just kind of being outdoors and like you said, that being able to breathe and literally and figuratively in a lot of ways. Yeah. So then you've stepped out of that comfort zone and you say, okay, we're going to try something else. And so how did it come about? Well, now let's try something really big, right? Let's go Mount Kilimanjaro. How did that come about?
Well, for me personally, it's just continuing to take little steps. The little steps prepare you for bigger steps and so on. And you get in the habit of doing things that are different. Sometimes you see other people who are doing them that you may can relate to, sometimes you don't. But it's the habit of being bold that I think a lot of people, just open yourself up to a little bit more. And so at that point in my life, when it came to me, I just see an email, basically, you want to go to Kilimanjaro. To me, it was an immediate yes.
No hesitation.
No, because to me, it checked boxes for opening myself up to more travel, to being outdoors. For some strange reason, when I go places and I see a mountain and it calls to me, and having the opportunity to go to a whole nother continent that I've never been to, with other ladies with a shared mind, why say no on something if you look back on, you'll regret? If it's only fear that's stopping you,
don't let that fear stop you.
That is not ever a good enough reason. Fear alone is never a good enough reason.
Don't let fear stop you. I love that. So let's talk about, we're going to put up some of these pictures and tell me about, your trip and just the experience.
Well, for me, everyone will have a different experience. And I think whenever you step out of the box, you will change and grow. I think that will across the board be the same for everyone. But how you change and grow will be different. And even as we went out together as ladies, some that, from here, others we met from other states and countries, we had shared experiences that changed us in the same way, but many of us had completely different outcomes, what we took from it. I think all of us, though, had emotional moments in which we were challenged personally, physically, mentally, to do hard things, as Shawana would say. But to overcome those things in whatever way it shows itself in your life is transformative, is empowering. For me, I had a base of physical health and just movement and different things like that helped prepare me as I ramped up for the mountain. But it challenges you in ways that you wouldn't expect. The fear of the unknown may challenge you mentally. Not knowing how your body will respond to high altitude, it can challenge you. Seeing others being challenged and how you empathize with them will challenge you. And so it's an amazing thing for me personally. I loved it. You crave it, even though you may get bumps and bruises through the process, but it's like life. When you look back on it, you remember the joy.
As we say, when we get knocked down, you get back up.
You get back up.
And you keep going. And higher.
And higher.
And higher and higher. Well, again, congratulations on that trip, because it really was just the fact of that you all were able to accomplish that and come together and, like you said, step outside that box. And some people may have questions and say, oh, I want to learn out more about this, about H-2-O, about the Fab Five. Let's put that flyer up right now so we can let people know about what you all will be doing. And all of that information is right there on your screen. And there it is, a frank conversation with the Fab Five. Melanie, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. Again, it's been a pleasure. And I look forward to all of you coming to the panel discussion. If you can, please come out.